Welcome everybody. And as usual, we start to have on our minds our best manners and behavior. Then you saw in the beginning of the video on YouTube um, that we have standards. So, first, we apply the standards to communication. And those standards are going to be that we are going to listen to understand instead of listening to reply. So we can come closer to understanding of each other. And if something is not understood, then one can ask a proper question. So here we go. We set a point of peace first. So everybody make a point of peace in yourself. And before we are going to transfer information, we need to empty our mind. So please take a moment to relax, get something to drink, get something to eat, and maybe you do not need it right now, but maybe a little bit later on. So you are comfortable, you are laying down or you are sitting, and you prepare yourself with an empty mind, and then you focus with your mind on your heartbeat. And if it needs to slow down, we are going to do breathing techniques first and slowly breathe in through our nose and slowly blow out through our mouth to calm down the heartbeat. So when we are relaxed, then we can start to talk and to contemplate information. And this does, if we want to have the best success, it's not a good idea to have a full brain that it's full of other information of work, of the television and whatnot. So we need to have a clear mind. So we need to remove any thoughts like that. So with an empty mind, we are going to free our mind, to open our mind up to receive the information provided in this seminar. So when we are totally relaxed, we can receive in the best way the information. And when we listen to understand, and understanding that we become the receiver of the words, then we can consume this information much easier when we focus on it. And when we try to understand it, then we will feel understood. So, but if we are going to reply on a stream of information, then you are not listening to the stream of information that's coming to you. And that's why you reply. And then you reply with your own stream of information, but you needed that empty head to receive information, because else talking with each other will be pointless. So, when we are relaxed and we have something to eat and something to drink near us, and we have a slow heart rate, then we can start to talk about civilizations and their different levels. So we created a point of peace in the beginning, and of course, also a lot of peace for everywhere around the world. And India and Pakistan are also throwing rockets. So that needs to stop. And we need to take the responsibility for peace first. So, first, be self at peace. And on a higher level of civilization, there is peace. They don't do war. They understood what the humans misunderstood. So we started to use the character for an axe, which was the character to chop trees. We give it the meaning to chop off heads. And that's the wrong understanding of the true language and the true nature of our human beings. So you start at a point of peace, you start with relaxed state of mind in order to contemplate. Then, when you gather with a group of people around a point of peace and everybody wants to say something, you need to give everybody word time. So, if you're with 10 people and you stay together for 1 hour, that are 60 minutes, everybody can speak 6 minutes. So everybody does not need to have a hasty conversation that they are in a hurry. I want to say something. I want to say something. And then start to overscream the other person. Nobody listening to each other to understand. And at the end, nobody felt understood. So you need to tackle all that. Yeah. So if you want to have a civilization that is transforming to a higher level of civilization, you need to start at peace because the war will let all those civilizations sink. And when we give each other word time, everybody will feel understood. Everybody can get things from their chest that they needed to talk to the group. So, because a higher level of civilization does not found its fundament in a dictator or a tyrant. So, the fundament of a higher level of civilization is a trinity, and the trinity is in a triangle shape. And the triangle shape is the strongest shape in the universe. And the second strongest, and there is not much in between, is the circle. Thank you very much, Ina. So everybody coming, follow Ina Anima. Especially also the women, the good women. Maybe you can help each other out. So it's also known that selfish behavior is not going into the future. So the practice of unselfish behavior is going into the future. So, with a lower level of civilization, a medium level of civilization, going to a higher level, advanced level of civilization, you need to evolve. You need to become the better human version of yourself. So, if you go follow the scientific path of where they say you have the Homo sapiens, they extinct. Now we have the Homo sapiens sapiens, and we do not need to get devolved more than that. So actually, we need to evolve to Homo luminous. But we are in exciting times, they call the end times, and we live actually in the golden age because all technology is already developed, it's already invented, but it's not all known to the mainstream. That's the big difference in between. But we need to use the technology in harmony with nature, in harmony with the universal principles and laws. And then you understood, thou shalt not kill. So, a lot of the educative tools that I can introduce of higher level of civilization, like the triangle CHIO, is also about observing human behavior. And it is that the human behavior of humanity needs to evolve and stop killing each other, stop hurting each other. So, on a higher level of civilization, discrimination is out, duality is out, because your fundament is Trinity. And some people talking about a holy Trinity, and I ask myself why. So, when you have a Trinity, you have your right wing man, your left wing man, then you can fly and rise like a phoenix. And that's what the Trinity does. So when the right wing man and the left wing man is forming a democracy, and the smallest number of democracy is Trinity, because that's the smallest number of majority decision. And they can invite more people and grow into a group. For example, you can do a coffee point. So you can plant the tea and invite people around your coffee point. And there you can give other people a cup of coffee, tea, or water, whatever. Maybe with a biscuit, and you can find your right wing man and left wing man, or if you are a woman, your right wing woman and left wing woman, or a mix of it. So then, if you are three men and you want a connection from Trinity to Forum, you need to have the plus one, which is the woman, and she will have the position chairwoman. And when you start a group like that, you can do a barbecue, a picnic, and invite even more people around the point of peace that you started with. And that is how you let peace grow. So, a little sip of my coffee. And then you can start to think about a neighborhood activity. So you start around the point of peace, you give form to democracy with three people, a trinity, three, the smallest number of democracy. You invite other peoples, and a group can grow of like minded people that want to enjoy peace. And then in a later stadia, you can grow civilization wise, system wise. You can use another system and start, for example, merchandise with a other type of economical flow. So, on a higher level of civilization, you would have a resource based economy. And it's really difficult on the background in which the world is dominated in the news by a low level of civilization to talk about a medium level of civilization. And then you can point to Japan, because Japan is the only country managed to grow to a medium level of civilization, and introducing a higher level of civilization and an advanced level of civilization. It's a struggle, I can tell you. It was a struggle before I had my companion, but he died, and now the struggle is only worse because a lot of the projects were older people, professors, scientists, and smart people. And I believe, well, the chance that there is one left is really small, really, really small. And I do not know where the person is also. So it's a struggle to find like minded people if they hear these things for the first time. And that's why you need to start with the smallest thing. You start with a point of peace, you start with giving form to democracy with a trinity. And on a higher level of civilization, they are aware that what you find interesting is in your mind and that's located in your head. And they also know that what's in your heart is that if you like somebody, hey, that's a nice guy, that's in your heart. And your underbelly feeling of okay. So you have interesting, you like someone or it's nice is your heart, and your underbelly feeling of okay. So when you feel danger, it does not feel okay. So when a decision is not feeling okay, you say no. So then you have better decision making if you make decisions about things that are okay to do. So if the tree finds it okay in Trinity, then that is called a triple I. So when three men form a decision, or three women, or a mix, three men forming a decision, that is known as a triple I. And then they are going to concretize that decision. And when you start small from coffee point, you get a little group, you go to a picnic, then you organize a barbecue so you get to know each other a little bit better around a point of peace. Some people will go, others will come, and you can start some merchandise. And you can start using other systems, so you can start some production. And then when the contenders are happy, you can form a pot, and the pot will be divided by the hours of time that people are working to the project. And that can be really profitable because eventually you will learn uh, how you can cope with this system. Yes, so you can make some little money on your own, or learn how to do business, or learn how to. Uh, Anyways, that is probably for people that might still need to get born. So I already recognized when it was explained to me that it was this time far ahead. And with the conditioning of the human mind collectively, massively, you could say what is normal, that the attention span is so short, the cognitive functions are low or lowered, and uh, really difficult to translate it to a certain kind of understanding. So, yeah, to put this out in the open, I think for the most of you it will be mind blowing, cannot comprehend. Uh, I'm going to watch a soap series. A little bit of coffee. Almost forgot that one. So, what else can we say about the three different levels of civilization? It's becoming aware and recognizing a low level of civilization, which is the Western civilization. The only medium level of civilization is in Japan, and a higher level of civilization, as I know, is on different planets. So you could say ETs. And there is this movie with, I believe she was Jodie Foster, um, Contact. And in the end of that movie, the guy is explaining actually how things are already happening between receiving intelligence from extraterrestrials, and that it already is happening like billions of years or millions of years. The translation and um, giving technology, giving intelligence from those other races. But yeah, I might sound like a lunatic right now. But that is also, you need to grow in awareness to also have get some type of acceptance of higher levels. Anyways, so you also can use in communication the igaba, and the igaba is an object with three characters, which I'm not going to display any tools here. I only will do that on other channel. And the E from igaba stays for the will, I, the will. Ga, well, ga, a Dutch word translated in English is go, meaning of selfishness. Go away with your selfishness. And ba, the character ba, is arrogance. Arrogance is ba. When I explain that to a child, the child can understand me. So arrogance is ba. But it's okay to be confident. So I was confident enough to go live and no expectations. So iga ba. So let it all think in a little bit. Take a moment to process the information. It will be helpful if you re listen to this recording on YouTube uh, more than one time to actually grasp the essence of what is said, because there are many micro aspects as macro aspects to the smaller step. So, one gigantic leap can be one little step, and one little step can be one gigantic leap. But we should not misunderstand that in proceeding that we are taking giant leaps and giant leaps. No, we are taking small steps. But if you have taken a lot of small steps until you have one giant leap, and you've been there and you go back and you start with the first small step in explanation right now of a higher level of civilization, then you start with a point of peace. And that's also why I need to repeat multiple times. We go back now, okay, at the beginning, yeah, a point of peace. So we need to really focus that things needs to sprout from a point of peace. And from the point of peace, with all divine thoughts, you get a fountain. Oh my God. I just found out how I can create fountains of youth. Wow. Wow. Okay, sure. Nobody's here, so I can say that. Um, yeah, at a point of peace, when you harvest gratitude because it is cozy and everybody's having fun and enjoying themselves and feeling great in the positive divine vibe, actually letting divine light circulating through the people with joy and laughter. And teaching them about the path inward to the inner child and letting the inner child grow up, being aware of that inner child, that it needs to grow up but still needs to be a child. Yes, there we understand what we need to understand. And that moment when everybody is enjoying each other around a point of peace, letting their inner child live, is the fountain of youth because you experience as an adult your inner child, and you need to take care of your inner child. So, this is a top secret that I explained because a lot of people are hunting for the fountain of youth. So, then, when all that happiness is spreading around in the crowd, and you have your own production, you have your own merchandise, you have your own project, then you also have, on a higher level of civilization, a safe haven for children. Yes? So we sincerely protect the future of the children. So humanity, which is not a plural word, is one. And as humanity, we will evolve, but a part of humanity will extinct. And that part seems to be that it's probably even more than 80%. So there are not so many people that are actually focused on taking the next step, not only growing. First, you need to take the responsibility for yourself to become a better version of yourself every day and to be in harmony with universal principles and laws. And that you are that divine being, becoming that divine being on this planet. And it's a burden that yeah, that I'm burdened with the information that was handed to me. It's a heavy load to carry in a world that is full of selfishness, hate. So we need to take the responsibility to create a point of peace and to invite people around that point of peace, to start a fundament with serenity, to build the true democracy, and then the trinity that can be multiplied. So we do not need to decide what the Chinese are going to do. So we are deciding what our cell is going to do, and the cell can grow till a group of 72 people, and then it will split up in 2 times 36, and then those 36 will grow into 72 again. It's like the cell growth pattern of body cells: split and grow, split and grow. So the creator created other divine beings by splitting themselves and letting it grow. Mind blowing. I know. Okay, maybe that was one step too far. But yeah, if nobody is going to repair the system, then I suggest you use the system that I can provide and to build up or at least get comfortable with uh, a other system, a higher level of civilization. But it's really difficult to find your right wing man and your left wing man in order to rise like a phoenix, to fly. And that feeling I experienced. So, in many projects that I contributed to or started myself, within that trinity, you step outside the matrix. Yes. So, with the Holy Trinity, you can step outside the matrix because there are different frameworks of mind between men and women. But if a woman sees three men, she will not decide between only two men. When she sees two men, she will choose the strongest one. So the woman votes for the strongest man. But if there are three, the three men need to make a decision and let the woman know what that decision was. And then the woman will speak her mind. Because she then will be the chairwoman. And if you have three women, then they will find a man who will be the chairman of the project. And so you grow from Trinity to Forum, and then to five, you start to form a group. And a complete cell is 72. With 72, the number 72 is actually there that you probably can give anything you want, shape, or form, but always sideways. Like if it was not there, like you have farmers, you have carpenters, you have construction workers, you have plumbers, you have musicians, you have all these different of jobs. You can give form in that structure. So there is actually a blueprint of a new civilization. And if I need to carry that alone, it's too much. I can carry it as far as I can into the future in this life, but I hope I can find some enlightenment that there are people that say, hey, that could be my new hobby. I'm searching for a challenge. Yes, but you also need to understand to carry the weight. It's not like meant to entertain you or to be fun or to be good to you or whatever. But in the future, it can be picked up by the next generation and they can see what they can do with that. Oh my God. Yeah, it's not easy when your awareness expands into that when you live in the reality that the attention span is scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Yeah, and that is what's dumbing people down. They think watching 1 minute videos and they know it all. Oh my God. So in Japan, they understand the word kancha, geza, tunao. So they needed to translate that in English because talking to a British lad, kancha, dude. And the dude says, what? Kancha. You not understand? No, I do not speak Japanese. Okay, it means gratitude, to express gratitude for everything, not only the good things, but also the bad things. Geza, that is meaning to be humble. Suno is according the will, according the bigger will, according the will of the creator. That's the meaning of Sunao. It's getting hot here of all the divine light going through my head. I'm going to unzip a bit. Um, yeah, on YouTube you can rewatch the seminar, re-listen the seminar, uh, and my advice is listen to it multiple times to grasp the essence of it, because going through a complex interwoven system. When you start with a point of peace and you end with a neighborhood barbecue, there are many steps taken. When you start with the fundament of democracy, the smallest number is three, Trinity. You have your right wing man, your left wing man, and you can rise as the phoenix, flying. And then you can step outside the matrix. But who wants to step outside the matrix? I love to. I love to. I experienced that multiple times, and it's so beautiful, in the Trinity, man. And then when the energy from the Trinity goes outward to shape the group, it's like that golden ratio, like in growing. So yeah, we did a neighborhood activity, a neighborhood barbecue with music and whatnot, and different things, seminars, production, starting up production. So we use educative tools, and we teach people to straighten their spines, because that's why we got Homo erectus. It was the meaning to straighten our spines. We need to be sincere, and we need to purify ourselves, to purify a spiritual body, in order to get enlightened. So evolution is one part of a higher level of civilization. So introducing a higher level of civilization into the Western civilization, which is a low level of civilization, is extreme hard. So why do I have that job? Oh my God. So, especially when the Western civilization is sinking till the bottom of the sea, then it's only information that we need to give to other generations. So, I do not know which human being can help me, which hands are free to give form to such a thing. I don't know. So we are going to let that all sink a little bit. And I try to do my best to translate it in the best way I can, in the most simple way I can, that we need to be at peace at our minds, to be at peace at our hearts, in order to be successful on this challenging path. Because the moment that you start to become enlightened, um, many distractions coming. And I saw a post that was claiming that the only weapon of mass destruction is mass distraction. Well, I grasped the meaning of it. But yeah, we need to destroy all weapons of mass destruction. Let's be honest about that one. So, if there are human beings that can understand to practice unselfish behavior, to become a servant is actually a divine role to serve others. Like, actually, the politicians needed to serve us. But if they do not do that, then they are not fulfilling a divine role, but they are fulfilling the role that's given to them by who? The devil. So we need to practice to have peace at heart, peace at mind, try to regain the strength and go outside again, getting tortured by the spiritual warfare, coming home again completely exhausted, purifying yourself again, go outside the door with your kindness again, getting mutilated and maimed, coming back with your scars, healing yourself again, going outside the door again, and so on, to make things easy. To make things easy, you might want to reconsider or to consider to receive divine light. And the best way of living of a human being on this planet is when he is bathing in the divine light. And then, when you are bathing in the divine light, you become that divine being and experiencing as a divine being like you were living as a God on earth. And then you are free of judgment. So you are not blaming somebody else. You know, on a higher level of civilization, they don't play the blame game anymore. They hold you responsible. They are grown ups. Yeah, they are not only grown ups physically after the year of 18 years old, but also spiritually grown up. Also, let the child inside grow up. And I hear my voice echo in the emptiness of the algorithms, of the echo chambers, of the cacophony of sounds of utterly nonsense on social media. Try not to get bitter, they said. But if you throw some blue lotus in wine, then it's getting bitter, and the bitter the stronger, or something like that. They were saying. Getting enlightened is not like a bottle of wine. It's understanding that this flame needs to burn before it gives light. So, using educative tools and doing things more like a ritual with awareness about what you're doing and about what you are going to do is really helpful for gaining more success in the things that you are doing. Instead of saying, I made a mistake, I didn't know that. Yeah, I know you didn't know that because you were not aware of it. So, grow in awareness. Let the child inside grow up. What can I say? Which wisdom can I share with humanity so the ship can go into the right direction? So, for example, what might be helpful is the following. And that train of thought just went poof out of the window. And the eyes are the windows of the soul. Yeah, what would be helpful? Return to origin, return to nature, de stress, detox, GTV. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Now I got you screaming. When I unplug the television, I get you screaming. So then make better choices what you watch on your screen. And many people making bad choices because they are not watching this. So, yeah. Oh no. I'm scrolling, 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 scrolling. No, I do not need someone with the attention span of 1 minute. So, to give attention is valuable, and to give attention to somebody is valuable with gold. Labor was valuable with silver, and the only true value is time. Amazing. So, in evolution, you are not going to set the alarm clock on a higher level of civilization to make somebody else rich. No, it will be a shared pot, shared by the amount of time the individual has invested into the project. So we are going to cut this short now. We are on an hour almost. And if you are somebody that can practice unselfish behavior towards the help that I ask, that I need for a better future of the children, to build a project and start with using a new system. So if that might be like, oh, I want to be a pioneer in resetting a new system, resetting a new civilization, and to talk about a civilization is so far ahead of the first achievable goals to get. So let's start with a trinity: small steps, goodbye, and to the Lidokis.